Welcome everyone to a new edition of the GM News iGaming podcast. We are here today with Rasmus Kjaergaard, CEO of Mindway AI. How are you, Rasmus?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me at this podcast.
Perfect. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Well, could you start by telling me a little bit more about Mindway AI core mission and what values was it founded on?
Yes, of course. So, Mindway AI is a solution provider in the space of responsible gambling player protection, where we provide solely such solutions. So, we don't provide anything else. We're not related to gaming platforms in a wider sense, and we provide sophisticated solutions, which is actually also the DNA we are founded on. We are spin out of Aarhus University in Denmark. We come from Denmark, which is a highly digitized country with a high focus on compliance and utilizing this and utilizing the research behind it, where we use AI and neuroscience to create innovative solutions to find at-risk and problem gamblers. Our core mission is to enhance player protection in the gambling industry.
Perfect. Um, could you tell me your solutions focus on early detection of problem gambling? Can you
Yeah.
explain how Mindways AI's technology works in practical terms?
Yes. So what we have developed is a solution where we use AI to find at-risk and problem gamblers, or in a more wider sense, actually, to do a risk assessment of all gamblers in a customer database. We do this by combining human psychologist assessments with AI models. So we use human psychologists to train the models, and we replicate those human psychologists working in responsible gambling treatment into the model, so to speak. So with this risk assessment we provide, is basically providing an automated psychologist assessment on each and every player in the customer database on a daily basis. That gives us a wide range of opportunities. First and foremost, it gives us quite a high efficacy of the detection. It gives us the opportunity to utilize with a very strong target the strength of algorithms and AI to find those needle in the haystack, the few at-risk and problem gamblers in a larger customer database. The challenge here is to find something that is an individual human behavior, and due to that, we cannot, in our view and based on our research, rely on computational power only, data analysis only. We need to have people working in the space of treatment to help us train the algorithms to find those at-risk and problem gamblers. It gives us the opportunity to do, as you mentioned earlier, detection even before the signs we see on changes in gambling behavior or at-risk behavior can be as early as not even considered a risk yet. And obviously that gives us the opportunity to reach out to the customer much earlier to try to help nudge the customer in another direction, to avoid the customer spin out of control for self-exclusion or something, or close of account, and the customer will leave the operator for good. Obviously, that's part of what we provide in a very granulated way, where you can very easily, as an operator, see exactly the risk level, the communication and intervention you did, and also in more details analysis in a various range of plots and reports, see the whole pattern of this specific customer showing sign of at-risk and problem gamblers. It's important for me to note here that we have the idea, the vision that people should entertain themselves. The vast majority in all customer databases do not show signs of any problem. However, the minority of the customer database who show signs of at-risk or problematic gambling behavior or potential very severe cases also should get the help needed at the right time, at the right place, in the right channel, and with the right measure. And that is basically from wall to wall what we support.
That's really interesting. And could you tell me what role does neuroscience play in Mindway's AI approach to identifying at-risk gamblers?
Yeah, so our research foundation comes from our co-founder, co-owner, and board member, Professor Kim Morrison from Aarhus University. So we have our very own professor on board, and his research is based on 10 plus years of research in neuroscience, neuroimaging, and problem gambling. And the role neuroscience play is, of course, on the AI solution we have called Game Scanner. As I explained before, we use psychologists who are skilled, experienced psychologists in RG treatment to train the algorithms to clarify this individual human behavior called at risk or problem gambling. But we also have another solution, we call it Gamealyze, which is a neuroscience theory self-test where we ask the player to flip 80 cards from 4 pre-shuffled decks in this self-test card game, which is also live in Latin America, actually. And that takes roughly 2 to 3 minutes. And after the game is played, we ask the player to self-evaluate. We show, or the game shows, a report based on very easy, understandable speedometers, how the gambling behavior identified was. Is it risky, less risky, and so on and so forth. And finally, which I like very much, is also a final page where the solution gives 3 specific advice to what to do about the behavior just shown by playing this card game. So that's a solution that runs with gambling operators, regulators in Europe, the National Dutch Helpline, and other industry bodies. National Council on Problem Gambling has it, runs it on their responsibleplay.org website, which is a nationwide US platform where funded by NFL Foundation, to my understanding.
Perfect. Going to recent news, the
Yeah.
company recently became a provisional associate member of the European lotteries. What
Yes.
does the membership mean for the company?
That means a lot. Lotteries in general, everywhere, normally have a higher focus, or are perceived as having a higher focus on ESG and responsible gambling, and that is not, in my view, a perception only. That's actually the thing, and I think that comes from the fact that many lotteries, in particular in Europe, are former, if not still, state-owned lotteries. In some countries, also former monopolists. So they come with another background into the gambling industry compared to more commercial types of operators. So for us, obviously, it means a lot to become an associated member. We have already some of the European lotteries as our customers, but being able to bring to the table what we have built over the last 5, 6, 7 years of experience and solutions into the lottery field is of course interesting to us, also to learn from the lottery space, and hopefully also with that help the lottery industry side to enhance player protection, hopefully to collaborate with us. However, in my view, this does not necessarily stop with European lotteries. There's also a sister or umbrella organization, depending on how you look at it, called World Lotteries Association, which of course we are also looking into to let's say focus on lotteries elsewhere than Europe also.
Perfect. And Rasmus, one last question. What impact do you foresee AI solutions having on the gambling industry in, like, let's say, the next 5 years?
Yeah, obviously for us, who is a AI-based solution provider, it has quite a huge impact and have had, since day one, because we are providing a player protection solution, detection, monitoring solution of gambling behavior in our game scanner. It runs in 62 licensed jurisdictions, 38 countries, and roughly detects 9 million active players per month currently, meaning players who actually put some money with a gambling operator, lottery ticket, sports bet, uh, casino, whatever game type it is. So obviously, for us, that came we came from a blank piece of paper. So obviously, that's a huge impact. When I look ahead in what we provide, what we have of innovative ideas, I'm not necessarily sure that we can actually really realize by now the changes that can take place within the next 5 years. I definitely see a lot of ways that we can utilize also new technological trends to to support our mission and vision of earlier detection, of support of messaging, of support of all sorts of other protections that we have already in place and will develop. In a wider sense, when we talk about the gambling industry, obviously, as all other industries, where you can use AI to, in a smart way, work smarter, not harder. Obviously, that will be done, and that, in my view, will be in revenue, marketing, operations, wherever it is. However, I would say though that we very often hear that or hear, yeah, the feedback from developers with gambling operators saying how hard can it be to build such an AI model, no matter, can be on what we do, on everything else. And it's not always as easy as it sounds, because in particularly what we are doing, as I explained earlier, we are actually finding needles in the haystack, and that is pretty tricky to use AI for. So obviously that's it. But in general, I think that AI, as in every other industry, will have quite an impact on the way the gambling industry and all the employees, all the nice, great employees at the gambling industry will work in the future.
Perfect, Rasmus. And I wanted to say thank you for taking the time to speak with us and
You're welcome.
to actually explain to our viewers, our readers, the impact and the potential that AI has for the gambling industry.
Yep. But thank you very much for having me. And if there would be one or two of your viewers who would be at SBC Rio in next week and wanted to meet us and me in person, then we have a stand actually at the event floor. So more than happy to meet everybody who would be interested in meeting us.
Perfect. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today, and we will see you next time in the next edition of the GM News I Get It podcast. Goodbye.